kind of get that impression. The job listing did say that it wasn't like a wrap up, okay, we just need some more people to finish this game off. It was more like they were still in the creative stage. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell for me personally because it's just a job listing. And the way I look at it is this is good news. I mean, we were really worried about them making another crap game because they haven't made a really good Final Fantasy in a long time, unless I know, Eric, you're a big Final Fantasy 14 fan. But like single player Final Fantasy game, it's been pretty hit or miss. So the fact that like they're taking their time and they actually had that awareness to say like, oh man, like what we're making isn't very good. You know, the fact that like CyberConnect 2 gave them, a year ago, hey, this is what we've been working on. They're like, you know what, CyberConnect 2, this isn't very good. We're going to take it in-house. And now they're like, okay, you know what? We like what we've done, but we want to hire some new people, with some new ideas, and we want to make this as good as possible. I think that's cool. I think that's great. I understand people that say like, oh God, this means it's going to take 10 years to come out, but not necessarily. I mean, they're just hiring more people. That's all this actually means. I mean, so if you add this on top of like the whole redesign of Cloud and like Nomura basically saying, hey, it's not going to be Advent Children Cloud. It's going to be Cloud at the beginning of Final Fantasy 7. He hasn't been through all this crazy stuff yet. So he's kind of goofy. I mean, if you just take these things and you kind of compare them, it's like, hey, well, they're having some recognition of what the character needs to be, but they're also going through and like increasing the quality of the game. I mean, I think that's a really good thing. So we can't, as fans, complain that the game's going to be crap and that it's just going to be incomplete and it's not going to be like it once was, and then complain when they try to hire more people. I mean, so I don't know. What do you think? Are you in the stage or the camp that's like, okay, this means the Final Fantasy 7 Remake is not coming out until you file for Social Security? Or is this good news, or where are you on the spectrum?
I personally don't think that they just started over. It's when you have job listings like this, it's usually because you're in the middle of it, but then you find out during the development process, it's like, okay, we have to meet these certain deadlines or these dates or anything like that, and we can't meet it with the current staff we have right now. So we need to hire more people to get in here and help us push it more. I highly doubt, I'm sure they're in the phase right now where they have everything set up and ready. They're just executing the development process right now. And because pre-planning is actually what actually takes a really long time. Then like developing after that, it takes a good while also. But both processes take very long. And like, we don't honestly know where they even are at this point with it. But if I just had to take a guess, they just needed more people to help push it further, get the game out faster,
Yeah, they just hired more people, So, I don't know, like on one hand, it seems, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but it seems like people complain because, the game's not going to be out in enough time, and that if they weren't working on Final Fantasy 15, they would have more people working on Final Fantasy 7 and it would come out sooner. And, if Nomura wasn't making Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 7, he could focus entirely on Final Fantasy 7. And, this game's never coming out. Then Square puts out a job listing and they're like, hey, we want people to come work on this game and make it better. And people are freaking out. And I'm like, I don't know. It seems like they're just hiring people. Like, it doesn't seem
This is something I complained about in our FF7 Remake video, is that they're so vague with us on what's going on, and they announced it so early and not able to disclose information with us because of it. And so the problem is that people are just coming to their own conclusion. And I'm not entirely blaming it on people. It's a little column A and column B of the developers being very vague. They announced it too early. They can't give info because they don't have info to share. And then here is us thinking announced in 2015, and we're 1/4 into 2018 now. And we still don't really have concrete information. We had a concept video and a few screenshots, and that's it. We don't know anything about the game except maybe small little tidbits. We've seen a little bit of artwork of like secondary characters. We've seen very little of it, and because of that, people are going to come to their own conclusions. And this is the part where it's just a lack of communication from Square Enix. It's just like they can't just come out and like show something or just say how the development is going. Just say, hey, like this is where we're at right now. We don't have anything we can share with you right now, but we did announce this in 2015, so I think it's only fair that we share something. But I don't know if that's a Japanese mindset. I know Square Enix has been getting out of the being quiet approach now, because they used to do that back then, but then when you had Naoki Yoshida be very communicative with people about Final Fantasy XIV during its transition from 1.0 to 2.0, that was like the ideal way to do it. And then Tabata tried to do it himself with 15, where he was being transparent with people. He was like, okay, this is how development is going. This is where we're at right now. We want your feedback for it, which there were some up and downs to that approach. He did it, but that type of system is fine. It's not saying...
I think I might disagree with you just a little bit, but go ahead and finish your thought and I'll tell you why.
Because, you don't want to take so much player feedback that, the fans take over. But at the same time, it's good to be transparent on where you are with it. And if fans have comments about it, I'm not saying follow exactly what they want, but you can get ideas of what they may want, because it could really go either way. The player base may not know what's good for them at the same time.
Well, and here's the problem, though. I think you should seek player feedback, but I think in Tabata's stance, like it's like, okay, you're trying to make this massive game in this style that you've never really done before in 3 years. Sometimes I think in some ways, I think player feedback probably helped the game, but other ways I think it hurt it, because like Tabata would come out and say like, okay, like this Final Fantasy, sorry guys, we're not going to have airships like other Final Fantasies, which is an outrageous thing to say, because every Final Fantasy has airships. You can't not have an airship.
You could fly a car.
So then, so like fans are like pissed, and he's like, oh my God, okay, I see this would really make you guys mad. Let's go put airships in there. And but if you read up on the development, because they decided to make airships part of the game, kind of last minute, that took 4 months of development time, because they had to rework everything and make sure it worked properly to have the car be able to fly through the air and everything like that. That could have been devoted to maybe fixing the story up a little bit or things like that. So I think sometimes under the wrong circumstances, that might not be the best way to go. And I think in Final Fantasy 15's case, I think sometimes it hurt it, but I think Tabata went a little too far into trying to make everybody happy. But I do think that certain things, it definitely helped the game for sure. So
no, you're right that he shouldn't have taken so much from them. I'm talking about more the idea of it. That,
absolutely.
Not be like, okay, well, this is not what people want, so we got to do this whole thing over again. It's not do it over again. It's okay, how can I get people to like it? If they don't like it now, what adjustments can we make to make it better?
Well, and Tabata was in a very rough stage too, because he took this game over, and Final Fantasy 15 already had a lot of negative press going on, because even when he took it over, the game had already been in development for 7 years. So it's he has to get the fan base excited about the game again, right? So I guess going out and reaching out and being like, hey, this is what we're doing, and being very vocal about it is one way to get people excited. So I think that I can't really give him too much crap for it, but I don't know. I guess what you're trying to say is it'd be cool if they'd be a little more vocal with the 7 remake, right? Because it's been in development so long at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a player feedback thing. Just be like, this is our report of it right now. It's, we don't have any screenshots to share anything. Or it doesn't have to be a big conference or anything. You can just a message from Square Enix Twitter or YouTube or something, and just say, hey, this is the state of it right now. We know you guys are waiting, but, we're good with it. Everything's going smoothly. There are no setbacks. If
See,
there
here's
are
the thing.
setbacks, just be like, it's like we've had a couple complications, but we've resolved them and we're continuing right now.
Absolutely. I mean, they should just be a little more clear. They don't have to have like a big like, hey, on the 28th of next month, we're going to be streaming a live a YouTube thing, and we're going to have girls out there in chocobo suits, and we're going to have Chocolina there, and Ray Chase is going to make it. No, they don't have to do that. Just like, put out a like little, tweet or something. But the thing is Square has been so like shy with information about this game that if they did put out like a little 7 update like that, like YouTube would just explode, because we're at the point now where if Square puts out a job like listing, like they're like, we would like to have some more people work on the game. Like you get like 97,000 YouTube videos and like all of Twitter erupts. Yeah, I mean, I think they just need to get in the habit of just being a little more vocal, and I think it would help them a lot so they could get to the point where, at the very least they could hire people without, people like reading too far into it.
Here's my argument with the entire thing. If they didn't screw up 14, 15, and 7 Remake so much,
and 13,
that we wouldn't be asking them to be so transparent. I mean, when Fallout got announced in E3 and it came out in November, were people just like demanding Bethesda to come out and be transparent about their development process? Maybe the crazy people, but generally no. It's because they had a set date, like they were able to show the gameplay and everything, and everyone got a really good idea of the product they're about to get. What Square Enix did was they announced it in 2015. They showed just a beginning trailer of like Cloud and Barrett just walking through, and you see a little bit of Midgar, and that's it. We have little to no idea what they're doing with the game, how the game's going to be structured. We got a tiny taste of the combat system that may not even be like that when it comes out. We have no idea. Yeah, it was, if they just don't announce these so early, if they have like a product that's almost ready to go, that's like an alpha/beta phase, that's an appropriate moment to announce the game. Because you have something working going. You just have to work out the kinks to make sure that everything is working the way it should be. And then you can talk about it all you want between then and when the game comes out, or like information that's appropriate to give. And it's like, no, you announced in 2015 and they stay quiet and everyone's wondering like, oh yeah, about that FF7 remake now. And it's like, it's like God's gift to the world every time we get some form of information from it. It shouldn't ever be like that. It's like, you shouldn't have to be quiet about that. You should be able to talk about your game as soon as you announce it. I don't know why Square Enix thinks the way they do it is such a good idea. It's a really bad one.